All right, everybody, we're back at another episode of the Pitchmark Collective podcast. We got TL2, we got JL. TL2 rocking the sporty Coke Golf Club hat. Never seen that before. Looks like a nice pickup. Teddy, tell us about your hat.
It's actually from our good pal and longtime listener Jeffrey Whipple. He visited the that Coke Museum in Atlanta,
Mm,
and he saw the hat and he said, "You know what? My best bud TL2 probably would enjoy this hat," and he brought it back for me, and I have enjoyed it. It's a good hat.
just a stand-up guy that Jeffrey Whipple is.
He is.
You need to
Yeah.
get that new release, that golf bag from 7-Eleven now. It'll match the
I
hat.
saw that. Yeah, I don't know if I want to go full soft drinks like branded. I don't know if that would be good for the brand or not.
I mean, 7-Eleven has nachos, so
That
therefore,
bag is actually sick.
yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
badass. I mean, you had to get on there like right away because
Right.
Have you guys seen like the old like full leather staff bags that are like Gatorade branded and stuff?
Yeah, or Monster, like what
Mhm.
Tiger would had.
Well,
for
yeah.
the
Well, the
other day.
Gatorade one that I'm talking about is from like the 70s.
Oh,
Man, the
really?
head
No,
cover's sick too, dude.
the 7-Eleven one.
Yeah.
Ah, crap! Cam's spending some money as we speak.
No,
If
I'm
there's
not going to do it.
actually, is there Bucky's branded golf gear? Because that isn't a bad idea.
Right.
Well, wouldn't for
Right.
you guys it'd be Cookout. It wouldn't be Bucky's.
Cookout would be nice.
Which Cookout was interesting. Not gonna lie about that. Cookout.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, that's
you
right.
win.
Yeah, but you got like a
I got
You got
chicken
chi-
fingers. Probably
you
not
got
the best
chicken
choice.
tenders.
yeah. What do you
Because
like?
we had already
Chicken tenders
ate
at a burger joint. What are
Yeah,
we
we
talking
had
about
already
here?
ate at this event. I wasn't sure.
It's a
like,
quesadilla joint. First off,
You
Really?
need a cheeseburger quesadilla.
well, yeah, that too.
yeah, clearly you guys didn't tell me. I just knew that the shakes were good.
Didn't tell
That's
you.
what I thought we were going for.
We texted you what to order,
We literally gave you our order.
The
and then you're
shake.
like, "Yeah, it's okay."
And I did.
Well, what
I'll
did you
get
end up
chicken
getting?
fingers.
Chicken fingers.
Didn't even get a shake, right?
Well, it was weird though driving through North Carolina. Like some of them were really nice. Like you walk in, it was like super clean. I was like, oh, and because we went to like 4, and
Cookouts?
we went to one cookout because we were trying to find one that we could stop at on the drive back. And the first 2 we went to were absolutely disgusting. Like I was like, what in the hell? Like, where are we? Like duct taped windows and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, I am not going in there. Let's just go to the next one. So then we went to one and it was super nice, but no one was at the front counter. And I was like, I guess no one's working at this one. So we'll go down to the next one because we had some on the maps that we could like go to. So then we finally ended up going to one. It was, and that's when I was
So
like,
did you end up going to like both like one where you can walk in and then one where it's just walk up or a drive through? Because they started as like to a
Yeah.
window in order.
so one of them that we went to was just a drive through and it
Yeah.
was like so gross. Like that was where I saw like duct
What
tape.
what does gross mean?
Like it had white panels, but all the white panels had like grease and all sorts of shit over it. So like it was not white anymore.
That's probably the one you should have ordered from.
Totally. So,
All right.
but yes, we
All right.
digress.
Justin doesn't know how to order at Cookout. Add that to
I
the
don't.
list. As I mentioned before, I had a little icebreaker for you guys, and this came to my
the hat
mind.
wasn't it?
No, the hat was not it. This idea came to me when I was jamming out with my son on the way home approximately 30 minutes ago. Gun to your head. All right, gun to your head. Somebody says, "Hey, you have to karaoke this song and not mess up the words." You'll have the screen in front of you, but you have a gun to your head, so you're a little nervous. What song are you selecting? It can be any
Regulators
song.
mount up.
What song?
The mount up from no, it's
You can-
regulators.
You can rap for a word.
I think I get pretty close to it already. So I
If
think
you
I
don't
could
do it
probably
perfectly, you get shot in the head, though.
Yeah, the problem is I don't know any other songs.
You don't listen to music.
I do, but I'm the worst music person in the world. Like, this is an explanation of me and music. For 10 years, I had this car, this Audi A4. The radio didn't work in it, and I really didn't care.
That's
Like,
concerning.
What's the point of owning an Audi that doesn't have a working radio?
because it was paid for.
Fix the radio. What are we talking
Uh,
about here?
I don't know. Dude, I didn't drive my car that often. So,
Justin, have you ever heard of an aux cord?
I think this just goes to show nobody ever gave Justin the aux cord growing up.
Dude, never operated the aux cord. All right, so Justin's getting shot. Teddy, what's your song?
probably.
I
think it's a
mean,
good chance.
I might get shot too. I'm trying to think. Like, I'm a big rap guy, and that's usually what I'm listening to. First off, I don't think I'd be able to say half the words in most of the songs that I know, so that could be a problem. Maybe
let's just say it would be the non-explicit version of the song.
Oh, okay. Well, then half the time I'm just standing there anyway, so that would be fine.
Just
I
all you
would
got to do is say
say,
beep beep.
for a safe song that I could probably recite, it would probably be probably something from Trick Daddy. Probably like I don't know. Probably most Trick Daddy songs, actually. Now that I think about it.
What was
Which
yours, Cam?
See, I had like a long list of songs. I'm like, I could do this one, I could do that one. This one
Really?
would probably be the best. Yeah. I see. So my wife calls me iCam because I'm like an iPod on shuffle. I sing a lot. I think the one I settled on for more upbeat kind of energy type thing would be Something Like That by Tim McGraw. So that's the barbecue stain on my white t-shirt song. You know that song?
Oh yeah, I know that. I actually know a lot of those words too.
Yeah. So I would probably choose that one or Hey There Delilah by the Plain White Tees.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or this one.
Okay.
This one I sing to my son every night. You know when he lets me. It's I Will Follow You Into the Dark by Death Cab for Cutie.
Okay.
I don't even know if I know that song.
You've probably heard it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sing it for you right now.
At this point, Addison being a teenager, she usually grabs my phone and she's like, "Yeah, let me run Spotify." And so we just listen to whatever she throws on, which ironically, Kim, you and her probably get along really well because it's a lot of country. And then it ends up being like, we listened to Underdog by, what's that rapper, Connor Price or something like that on the way home. And then we went straight to Luke Bryant. And there was another song that she had just found, which was like Lightning in Oklahoma or something from that new movie Twisters or something.
Yeah.
So
No Love in Oklahoma by
yeah,
Combs. It's a good song. It's a banger.
So yeah, so I mean, we're all over the place, but I don't know the words. She couldn't recite it word for word because she literally sits there on Spotify looking at the lyrics, and I guess it's like that's just her thing. She just loves the fact that she could sing a song.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If I want to like learn the lyrics to a song, I do the exact same thing. I listen to it once while reading the lyrics.
She actually showed me where the lyrics were. I was like, why does anyone care? Everyone just listens to the music. Like, why would you be looking at your phone?
Because some people like to know what they're actually listening to.
That's
but
valid.
You just don't listen to music. That's the problem.
Maybe Teddy can look at the lyrics and see if he actually likes what Trick Daddy's saying.
I love what Trick Daddy's saying.
Trick Daddy was actually a very clear rapper. He's not like the mumble.
Well, and Trick was for the kids. So I think, if anything, you guys should probably start listening to Trick Daddy on your car rides to golf practice.
I know Trick Daddy.
Perfect.
No, well, not you, but Justin.
Trick Daddy on the way home from golf practice tonight will be on play. We'll see what she says.
Start with Because I'm a Thug.
I'm a Thug. Yeah, that's probably the one that I would do, but yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Perfect.
All right. Well, now that we got that icebreaker out of the way and Justin's definitely getting shot, Teddy might get shot. Probably not to
I'm
mess
getting
up the
shot
words
for
for
a
saying
different
something
reason, but
Yeah.
he shouldn't.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting shot because I have a library of music in my head. Got it.
Perfect.
All right. So outside of that, we were going to talk about the President's Cup, recap it.
oh yeah,
We
that
got a
ended.
little something going on talking about like the Sanderson Farm Championship where Nick Dunlap's the highest ranked player at like 34th. And then we have a little football talk at the bottom of the podcast here. We're going to try and help Justin save his fantasy football team. So,
Yeah.
and talk football in general. So, the President's Cup. Justin, give us your, now we're 3 days past it, but your reaction to the President's Cup.
So I think when we did the pre, I was kind of like I just hated on it. I think to some extent. I mean, I wasn't super
That's
stoked about
accurate.
it. Honestly, like I had
Checking
a great
notes
time.
here. That checks out. Yes.
Yeah,
Justin's chat on
I
the
had a great
President's Cup.
time. I watched it on Thursday, Friday, and then my daughter had a golf tournament, so we had to actually drive about. We had 4 hours worth of driving that we did. So, and then her round was 5 hours. It was so long. But I listened to it on Saturday, so I think the entertainment factor was there. Um, my daughter was super pissed that I was rooting for the internationals on Sunday because I did not want it to end. That was my
Hmm.
only thing. I wanted those first three guys to lose.
Yeah.
Clearly Xander wasn't going to. I thought there was a chance for Scotty to lose. And I just wanted to keep it going. I honestly, and I texted this to you guys, I said, I want this to come down to Max Homa. I would love for it just to go its course and let's see it happen. But I mean, it was cool. I still think it's second fiddle, obviously, to the Ryder Cup.
Sure.
And I think there's probably changes they could make for that, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty fun. Going
Cam, what about you?
5-0 was.
I would agree. I thought it was it was way better than everyone expected it was going to be. I think a lot of that rides on how quickly Tom Kim started doing his thing, right, with a little just kind of personality showing. I think that carried it into the weekend and just kept it riding out. I mean, I watched Thursday, Friday while working, just doing my thing. Saturday I didn't get to really watch, but Sunday I watched, flipping through football and that. I do think they should probably work on timing there. I mean, do you have to have it during the football season? I don't know. Maybe. Probably would help with viewership. Maybe it wouldn't. I don't know numbers on viewership for the President's Cup. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good President's Cup. I mean, you had some fieriness come out with Tom Kim and his groups with Siwoo Kim. I mean, Siwoo Kim doing the Steph Curry and
The
then losing the
9-8,
match like on the
that was
next putt was hilarious.
But
Uh,
dude, that
but they
that
put the
wedge
effort in,
shot,
right? They tried making it entertaining.
that wedge shot was absolutely insane that he made.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah,
did love if anyone at Steph Curry, his response to that was absolutely hilarious.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the time and the score,
He
buddy.
said something about timing and the scoreboard or something, right? So
Yeah.
I thought when the Americans swept on Thursday, I'm like, yeah, I mean, did anybody have this going any other way? And then the international team promptly just returned the favor on Friday. I was like, oh, I was a little shocked at that. I thought maybe we'd have another 3 points for the American team, Friday. So it'd be what, 8-2?
I
But
mean, I
international,
thought like kind of how that played out. I thought Thursday was going to be more competitive, and then when I saw the international sweep Friday, I kind of thought, okay, that's sort of what I thought was going to happen the first day. Not that it would be so lopsided between day one and day two.
Yeah.
right. What's crazy is, I mean, who was it? It was Matsuyama and Sung Jae Im who they made like 7 straight birdies in alternate shot to close out what was
And they shot
probably,
better in alternate shot than they did in four ball.
but
I think
yeah, which is they're against Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele, like which was probably be like you're
Yeah,
our sure
one of
thing.
the
You're our
one of
sure.
the top 3 teams probably.
Yeah,
But real
first
quick, if we're talking about
first
that,
group
like
out.
Thursday, I mean, the biggest win was 3-2. It was Russell Henley, Scotty Scheffler, which where the hell did Russell Henley come from? Against Sun J.M. and Tom Kim. And then the other ones are 1-up, 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 2-1. right?
Mhm.
And then
It was very close when they were kind of in the middle of their rounds.
but
There's a lot
Friday
of
was
flip-flopping.
absolutely ridiculous from the international team. 7-6, Hideki, and then obviously you guys talking about with Cantlay and Schauffele. But then you've also got 5-4. I mean,
Yeah.
Adam Scott and Taylor Pendrith just took a beating to Sahith and Morikawa. Then one up. I mean, that's actually a pretty good loss in comparison to these other ones for Max Homa and Brian Harmon against Christian Bezadenhout and Jason Day. And then 6-5. Wyndham Clark and Tony Finau just got crushed.
They couldn't make a putt.
Oh,
The only lead the Americans had at any point on Friday was the last group, Scotty Scheffler and Russell Henley. They were 1 up through 2, and then from lost the next hole, then lost on number 6, so they were 1 down.
yeah.
Tied it up on number 7, so the only lead they had was for not even a hole.
Yeah.
The American team, like they got routed, they got dominated. It was a completely different international team.
I mean, much more dominating Friday rounds than even Thursday.
Right.
International team
lopsided for
crushed
sure.
USA on that. Yeah.
And then
I thought that was really interesting.
And then I mean Saturday morning, they took 3 of 4. Right, so 3-point lead there. And Sunday I don't think Sunday was really was close at all. I mean, Scotty lost on Sunday in a singles match to Hideki.
Yeah, I mean Saturday I can't make too many comments on it. I thought it was entertaining, but also I was listening to it, so it was a little bit different. I mean, seeing how competitive they were and everything that was going on, I was like, oh wow, this is actually going to be really cool. But I don't know. Maybe the singles didn't really do it for me. I don't love the team competition ending on that either. Like maybe there's too much change that could potentially happen and too many numbers that can get thrown out there because of all the matches. I don't know.
Why not do teams and alternate shot? They're not teams. Sorry, singles and alternate shot. Why not just do those 2 formats? Why do the best ball? I don't know if I like that.
I like the best ball because you get a little bit more of the team aspect when you're playing like in groups of 4 like that. I mean, I guess you could do a singles match, but play as foursomes. Maybe that would help. Because I just think it's easier to kind of feed off of your teammates when you're doing that instead of like you're on a hole all by yourself playing against this one guy.
If you went to that as the international team, you are getting dominated by USA because of the depth of the US team. I mean, they showed it on Sunday in the individual play. I mean, they weren't winning very many matches.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good point.
I mean, the team play is what actually brought them back into contention, right? So it's like you've got to figure out a way to kind of even that out.
One question that I had is like, why make everybody finish? Like, why not just do it? Like,
it's kind of tough.
Like Max Homa was out there playing for like 2.5 more hours after Keegan Bradley clinched the win. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing here, guys?
Yeah,
because they don't do that at the Ryder Cup, right? Like once the thing is clinched, it's clinched. It's done.
At least it looks like they do. I mean, it looks like everyone kind of celebrates and picks up their ball and goes to the final hole. So, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, final score was 18.5 to 11.5.
Which is pretty steady if you look at the history. Like, it's not.
I mean, I stopped watching right when it was like 15.5 points, right? So it was like I didn't even know the final score ended up being 18.5. I thought they did the same thing as Ryder Cup and just called it good.
I kind of stayed on the Sunday football once I saw the U.S. was leading like 3 of the first
All
4
of them.
matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, it's pretty much done. Let me
Yeah.
watch the Jaguars lose.
So coming out of this, I think there's some fun things that we could look at too. Teddy, who's your favorite player of the week?
Favorite player of the week? I don't want to take Cam's. Warriors. Justin, because Justin, who was yours? Henley?
My favorite player of the week was honestly Tom Kim.
All right. Well,
I loved how
I'll,
he played. I love the entertainment value of it. I love that he was like throwing it back and like being entertaining for it. I want to see more of those types of personalities in golf right now. I think it's something that like everyone wants.
it was pretty exciting. I liked Henley. He's been, he's played well this year. I was surprised he was playing so well because of how nice the weather looked. He's only played well in those like
Crap.
those rainy events or where it's
Mhm.
just shit weather. So it was kind of nice to see him shoot low scores in the middle of a sunny day. And he played his ass off and was super competitive and hit some really big shots throughout the whole event.
Yeah. Cam?
Yeah, I was just between the two best golfers in the world, Scotty and Xander. I think I'm gonna lean towards Xander, just with how he routed Jason Day the first match on Sunday. Like he was 5 up for a few holes, lost them, but ended up winning 4 and 3. It's like Jason Day just never had a chance to really set the tone. I think for the groups behind him too to be like, all right, like
The
what are we
match
doing,
was never
guys?
in question.
Yeah.
Not at all.
But I would say too, just shout out to Siwoo and Tom Kim on that pairing that one day. It's like those guys were electric. Like it was just very enjoyable match play golf to watch.
Yeah. So like the next two things I want to ask, who's your biggest surprise player? Because I think that is a little bit different than like your favorite. And then who's the biggest letdown? So Cam, who's your surprise player and your letdown? Let's see the complete opposites of this.
Yeah, so I was a little surprised. Like I didn't necessarily like doubt Sam Burns was going to have like a good or bad. Like it was he was iffy to me, right? But he came out and he performed. He did really well. You know, with 3.5 points for the week, went 3-0-1, so 3 wins and a tie. I I wasn't necessarily expecting that, and he also added to like the crowd, you know, shit talking flair kind of attitude when Tom Kim and all that. He was just part of that scene,
He's
right?
always been part of it. Even in the Ryder
Yeah,
Cup.
yeah,
He was in the mix.
yeah. So I'd say Sam Burns most. I'll say surprising. The biggest letdown I would say too is just how much. I mean, Minwoo Lee only played in 2 matches out of the entire thing.
Yeah, that was surprising.
It's like somebody because everybody else played. I mean, Ben An played 3, but then everybody else played 4 or more. Well, I guess Christian Bizet now played 3. So it's like, isn't this guy supposed to be like your like a match play dude, and you're only playing him two
And also one
two
of the
matches?
better players on the international team.
Yeah, and also like probably one of the top 3-4 guys on the team. Like, what are we talking about?
Especially with some of the entertainment value that he was bringing the day before.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean, he
so
was right
that
there.
was kind of a letdown. I was just not seeing more of him from the international team.
I'd agree with the Sam Burns one too. I mean, I had PTSD from him at the American Express going on to 18th hole, and he like just
Mhm.
duck hooked one into the water when he was like in contention with Nick Dunlap. And on 17, he's playing Tom Kim, right? Yeah, that
Mhm.
was the match. He's playing Tom Kim, and Tom just rifles one right down. It carries the water. And I'm like, oh shit, here's where Sam Burns duck hooks and goes into the water as well and just pummels the drive. And he's 10
Mhm.
yards past Tom and right in the middle of the fairway. So it was cool to see him do that. What about
Yeah.
you, Teddy?
I would say so. My biggest surprise and biggest letdown is the same player. It's Brian Harmon. I for the viewers at home, if they can recall on our pre-event episode, I picked Brian Harman on my team. I thought he was going to get a decent amount of points. I thought this course kind of set up well for him, and he plays well in these events. And he was awful, absolutely awful.
He was terrible.
It was very surprising and very disappointing, and that's why he is both of those things for me.
0-3.
0-3.
0-3. I
Yeah.
mean, the worst record of anybody in the President's Cup this year.
And it's probably his last time ever being on the team for the President's Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Well, think about next year for the Ryder Cup. You really think they're going to pick him for Bethpage Black? I mean, dude, that's the longest course they're ever going to play.
Yeah.
Not only distance-wise, but what they have to carry off the tee to get into the places to be okay. Like, that would be tough for him to be a captain's pick into that.
Do we think Sahith did enough to get his name in the radar if he doesn't, say he's not like an automatic qualifier? Do you think he's in contention to be a captain's pick just based off, this year in President Cup?
I mean, I think he's one of those, like, because he's young enough, like you can't really hold this too much against him for it kind of being his first time in this sort of event.
Mm-hmm.
He struggled, but he did hit some decent shots. I think I don't think they'd hold it against him. I think they would. Well, number one, I think he's going to automatically qualify for the Ryder Cup. But two, if he's on the bubble, I think he still has a legitimate chance of making the team just because if he doesn't automatically qualify next year, like he's going to be on the team for the next 15 years just because of how good of a player he is. So you might as well just keep him on there.
I've heard from a few people saying that like he is one of the easiest people to put with any player on the team.
Sure.
And he melds with it good. He hits the shots he needs to. I mean, I thought he actually played all right. If we're looking at Ryder Cup points right now, he is actually 11th in the official rankings for that.
So he'd fall into like the next 6 of like, here's the next
potential captain's picks.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, he'd be potential there, but there's a couple people here where I'm like, oh, this is sweet. You got Bryson at 3rd. Harmon's actually at 5th right now. So if he plays well in two of the majors, like he's going to have enough points to still stay up there. And then you got just the dog Billy, who went from 14th to 6th because of his last points. And like, dude, I want to see him in a team event. I think that guy would be absolutely hilarious. Like, I think he'd say.
Can you imagine him doing his putting routine, like in the Sunday singles?
Just inching forward.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Shuffling his feet on the green, just marking.
He'd probably start like 20 feet back just to try to mess with whoever he's playing.
Yeah, I think Billy Ho would be. He's getting up there, right? He's one of the more seasoned guys.
Yeah.
Like a Keegan. But I think he's probably just going to have to be in good form when it comes time if he wants to be in the running. I mean, he's not a guy who's going to win multiple tournaments, but he's going to top 20 a bunch right before. He's going to be in contention in a few.
For next year, it's Billy and Keegan. I think those are 2 people to watch. Because, I mean, now that Keegan got back, what was it, 12 years since he played the last one, he finally got into another team event. He's probably pretty damn hungry for that again.
I would say I don't think he's not the right guy to go player captain.
I don't think so either. But if he's top 6 and he's automatically in, I think it'd be fun as hell to watch.
Like, how does that work? If he is top 6, he automatically qualifies. Can he just be like, I don't want to be captain, and then they bring in, let's just say, Tiger, for example? Like, do they do that? Like, is that possible?
Are we predicting the future? Cam, are you putting units on the fact that Keegan's going to qualify and now Tiger's coming in to be the captain?
No, I think at this point I'd rather just see Keegan captain the team. even if he automatically qualifies. I'm asking if is it possible if say he wins 2 tournaments next year before the Ryder Cup, and they're like, dude, you're like 4th in the world, like you qualify.
Yeah.
Like, what are the changes that are possible? I don't know.
And well, I mean, I guess everyone would rather play, but being a captain's like a big deal, right? Like putting your name, stamping your name on that. But I mean, yeah, would he actually give up the chance to be the captain so that he could
Or
play?
would he? Yeah, would he be a player captain, or would he be like, nah, somebody else be captain? I just want to focus on playing.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
if he wants to go the ladder, then like, does the Ryder Cup have like, do they just promote up one of his assistants to be the guy, or do they, what's is Teddy googling this? I don't know. I don't know the answer.
yeah. Well, so since we're talking about captains and stuff, my biggest surprise was actually Russell Henley, because I think we've picked him to be DFL in a few events, which is funny that like he was actually your biggest, like your one of your favorite players, etc.
Yeah.
But my biggest letdown player, um, I'm gonna scratch because not exactly a player, but honestly, I give my biggest letdown to Mike Weir. Being the captain and doing what he did, like I think he had some he stoked the fire on Friday and then completely just poured water over it. It was steaming out, not doing a single thing on Saturday. Like I just don't understand how you don't make any changes or pivot from what happens in the morning to the afternoon. You can make changes to that, and he should have. So Mike Weir is my biggest letdown.
I think maybe in those instances, like they go into that day with a plan, and maybe they still feel like it's the right plan. Maybe it just wasn't their morning, and
Yeah,
so they're
you have to commit
afraid
at
to
some
mess with
point.
it.
You got to
Yeah,
commit to a game plan, and you don't want to show your players you're having doubts about that game plan 20 minutes before they're going to tee off, right? Because, Adam Scott and Taylor Pendrith, they know they're going to be together. They may not know who they're going to play against until an hour before or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But, like, if Mike Weir goes in and be like, yeah, actually, we're switching things up, you're not playing, like, that's not good for the team aspect. I don't think, the team's mental.
After they go 3-1 and they're down, I mean, you kind of have to switch things up for that.
Well, I think the fact that they came back after getting swept to sweep the U.S., I think he had confidence in the bounce back ability, right? I mean,
Yeah.
based off recency bias, but it's easy to also dog the captain of a team, right? Because they make those decisions. Ultimately, it comes down to the players hitting the ball, and Americans just did a little better than the internationals, which I knew was going to happen. Teddy was rooting for the internationals all week. Teddy might as well move to Canada at this point.
I thought he was moving to Korea, but
Teddy, you do look like a guy who would teach like English to Korean children.
Yeah.
In Korea.
I've looked into it before. Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't be able to understand them at all.
Yeah. Hey, honestly, I wish I would have like had my head on a little straighter back then, because I would have done like that would have been cool to do, right? Like I had zero direction in my life at that point, where people are like
Yeah.
trying to go teach English to children in other countries. Didn't know it was a thing until like whatever. So
You could still do it.
I'm not. I have a child. I'm not going to go move them to Korea so I can go live this experience. Probably some pretty decent golf though.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of a different atmosphere there than it is here, but yeah, I bet it'd be fun.
I may be the biggest dude to ever be in Korea if that happens. All right.
So
So the President's Cup, America rocks. I mean, what else is there to say about it? We're the champs.
I mean, to put a stamp on it, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. So
Mm-hmm.
it does get me a little bit more excited for Ryder Cup 2025. I think it'll be cool to see what team shows up and who who actually gets those captains picks, especially with the news of Liv being able to make it into the Ryder Cup?
I have a
I mean, does that
question before we completely move on to the President's Cup. Do you think there's like a different outcome? I'm just thinking of a few players on Live who obviously didn't qualify. Cam Smith, Joaquin Neiman. Do we think that those two players, if I forget anybody else, like having those two guys on a team would make any difference?
Yes.
100%?
Okay. All right.
I mean,
Next
you've got
next question.
Next question.
You've got I mean, there was the sole South American. There was only one. Wasn't it the coach that was South American or South African? Sorry. And like the entire, I was looking at this
Who
other
do you
day.
put in there? Dean Burmeister? Put him in. He went on Live.
I mean, he could have been better than some of the other picks, but yeah, I don't know. I do think that
Abraham
the
Answer.
Live actually, I think, affected the international team more than it affected the U.S. team.
I would agree.
Agree.
All right, that's all I wanted to ask.
So now, thinking about that, going into the Ryder Cup, does U.S. get a better pop at winning? Saying, yeah, Bryson and I would probably say Bryson Brooks would potentially do some damage in that. I don't know if Dustin Johnson even gives a shit about golf at this point. I'm pretty sure he's just buying bags of Coke on his boat and
Hell
sailing
yeah.
out to sea. But I mean, I think those are the two big names that we'd want to see back.
Well, I don't know. You got to think. I mean, yeah, I would say for the Americans, Brooks and Bryson are going to be the two big guys, right? That like we want on the Ryder Cup team.
Taylor Gooch, your favorite
No,
person?
yeah, I mean, I just don't see the. I don't just see no to Taylor. I think once again, the European team would probably benefit more from having John Rahm back.
Yes.
From having. Oh, I wouldn't mind seeing Patrick Reed for the Americans as well.
Ooh, the excavator. Controversial pick.
Terrell Hatton. I mean, Patrick Reed in that Rory match at this place in Wisconsin. Is it in Wisconsin?
Whistling
Straits.
Yeah. I mean, that was incredible. There's like I watch the YouTube highlights for that match like once a week, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, you also got to think you have Terrell Hatton for the Europeans, John Rahm, David Pooch. I just like saying his last name. I don't think he's a Ryder Cup fit, but I think it's a pretty even, like, if Live players get to go to the Ryder Cup, it's going to be somewhat of an even like offset. Like we get Bryson and Brooks, John Rahm for the Europeans, Terrell Hatton. I don't think I'm missing anybody else per se, but I'm glad that they're going to have an avenue to be on the Ryder Cup, at least for the Americans.
Yeah. I think it'll play for the entertainment factor, which I'm excited about. I mean, but you're also like, what about Fireball? I mean, wouldn't Sergio play in the Ryder Cup? Sergio would have played for President's Cup.
No, he's from Spain.
No, he'd play for Ryder Cup.
Yeah,
but he won't actually play for the Ryder Cup because he won't make the team.
Yeah, he's a little past his Ryder Cup time. He may be captain.
True.
He could be a good co-captain or captain, I would say. Just with his personality, and like he probably hates Americans.
True.
That's speculation. No reports have come out to say that he actually hates Americans.
Go ahead and clip that.
Those are my own words.
Yeah. But I mean, I've been looking at the teams. I mean, for the President's Cup, they would have, I mean, Neiman, Sebastian Munoz, Mito. I mean, there's Abraham Answer. There's Carlos Ortiz, Cam Smith. I mean, there's quite a few people that the President's Cup international team would have seen some benefit from having. So, but
Brendan Steele, he's American. Looks European or
American,
Canadian. I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
Looks Canadian. Yeah, I don't want to see Brian Harmon in any sort of team competition again. I don't think.
Well, you're telling me you lost me money.
True.
What's next? What are we talking about?
So
Sanderson Farms.
yeah, I mean we're in this weird fall swing, right? Like I mean I thought it was kind of golf was over. You kind of turn it down. Actually, you know what? One thing I was going to ask. Sorry, this is the most random thing, but as we were talking about Xander going head to head, wouldn't the Tour Championship be cooler if they had like a match play at the end of it? Like I would love to watch Xander and Scotty meet at the end to see who's the FedEx Cup champion.
I don't know if I
So
want to do it at the end. I don't know.
yeah, we kind of talked about when we were talking about like changes they can make to the FedEx Cup. Justin, I think you and I were on the same page of like adding some sort of match play component, and have the seeding determined by that. And then Cam shut it down pretty quickly because he doesn't think if Scotty was to have a bad day and lose in the first round, that wouldn't be a good look. But I'm with you. Like I would rather, that's more drama.
I was just thinking about it when I was watching Xander, and I'm like, damn, this would be badass to watch these two guys like coming down, kind of like USAM style, right? Like you gotta
I
play
agree.
36 hole match play.
I
don't know.
think what they need to do for the overarching season and just appeal of the PGA Tour, they need to make like they have what 8 signature elevated events.
Yeah.
Make 2 of those match play.
Well, I think it would also help.
Like get rid of the Zurich. Like just make that. Don't do a team aspect. Elevate it. Make it match play. Do it the same course. Like keep the name. But I just think like if you got a guy like dude, if this dude makes his putt, he's gonna make a ton of money, and
Yeah.
like anybody can win match play. Like especially on the PGA Tour, like Scotty Scheffler could go out, smoke everybody plays, or you can get out in the first round and just completely be done.
Yep.
I think that would add a lot of appeal to the PGA Tour season, even just 2
I think
events.
mixing it up a little bit would be kind of cool. I don't know. That's one of the things that I was thinking about when I was watching Xander. I just thought it would be awesome to watch them and the Tour Championship or something go head to head. I enjoy that. I also enjoy watching the US Amateur and
Mm-hmm.
seeing that. So I don't know.
What if they did something like so the top 30 right go to the Tour Championship? What if they did a match play to get the top 30? Is that possible?
That could be kind of cool, like a seeding.
Like one of the playoff event, yeah, the playoff event before. What is it, top 70 that goes down to the top, or it's top 50 go down to 30?
Yeah.
So do top 60, cut it in half via match play. I haven't thought through that logistically at all of what that would look like points wise, FedEx Cup. Yeah, that's just a
Yeah.
suggestion. We're spitballing here, guys.
Totally. I just think team format is kind of fun. I like seeing it once a year out of Ryder Cup and President's Cup now. I will say it. I did enjoy it, but I think it would be interesting if there was some other form. And I just think making the Tour Championship would be cool because like different would be a cool thing because I had more fun watching the President's Cup this week than I did the Tour Championship. I said
Yeah, I agree.
so.
Do we think the course and just kind of that if they change the Tour Championship, they got to change from East Lake, right? Do they look at a new
You could
venue?
do match play at East Lake.
I think match play would
I'm
be
not
more
saying you
interesting
can't,
at
but
East Lake than just letting them go out and shoot 20 under.
all right, heard.
There's some tough holes out there. I think in match play it actually sets up pretty well.
I will
Cam,
say
when you
I
meet with the
really enjoyed
president,
Sunday when they were coming down and on number 17, and like
There's some good
they
holes.
shortened it. They shortened it, and they're hitting wedges, and I'm like, we're gonna see some fireworks. Like somebody's gonna put it to 5 feet, and then the next person's putting it to 3. That was exciting. I thought to myself, I'm like, that's what I like. I like what happened just right there on this hole on number 17.
can we actually tell the PGA Tour to stop making everything so damn long and like let's stop having 235-yard par threes and like let's actually throw in and like let's see them stuff it to 2 feet from 120 yards.
I think it's getting there. It feels like this past year there were more courses like they set up with like a short par three. It seemed like there was more this year than in years past. So hopefully, like, and it seems like every time they do it, the feedback is always like from the players and from the fans that they enjoy when they set the par threes that sort of distance. So, I mean, hopefully going forward, they continue to do it and do it a little bit more often. But I agree. I mean, they're all going to hit, a 4-iron, 230 yards, 240 yards, and hit it to, 30 feet. A couple of them might run one close, but
I will say I do like
fun.
it when somebody ends up 10 feet away on like a 225-yard par three after they hit 4 or 5. Like I'm like, yeah, that's a sick shot.
There's
So
the
I like
exception.
I like a good mix. Like I'm like, yeah, put a 185-yard, maybe a 202-yard par three out there, but then like give these guys a chance to like for the fans, like fans who sit around a par three, they want to watch one thing. They want to watch the ball go in the hole from the tee box. Like that is what they hope. Right? When people go to number 16 at Augusta, they're like, I want to see a ball roll into that hole.
Yeah.
Like Bryson did, like Justin Thomas, like Tiger did. He rolled it right past on in 2019, if you remember, right? He hit it up onto the slope, and it 2 inches from going into the hole, ended up 3 feet away. But that's what people want to see. That's what I want to see. I want to see them hit clubs that are going to be like, yeah, we have a good shot to put this really close.
Yep.
So I agree with you, Justin. Short
when you have your lunch date with Jay Monahan, just let him know what we thought and how we've made some changes to, this 2025 year.
I was supposed to round out the foursome at Dunhill with him and Yasser, just couldn't make it work logistically.
Yeah.
So
just had some more important things to do with the business.
Yeah. I got to focus on the Pitchmark Collective, and that just didn't seem like a good use of time.
Yeah.
You could have charged it to our card if you needed a quick flight.
Yeah. Teddy, you had the jet taken though. Yeah. You got to book for that.
You're right. I forgot I was going to
Cabot. You had a really
yeah. I didn't want to drive. What's funny is the guys I went to it last time. They texted me. Remember the hurricane came through last week.
Yeah.
And they texted me like on Wednesday, and they're like, "Hey, do you want? We're gonna get another tea time on Sunday for Cabot if you want to come down." I said, "Absolutely not. Absolutely not."
You need like a year or two break from that place after the
after the
except I will go down. There's a hurricane coming. We're gonna get rained out again, and then we're gonna have to do this whole thing again.
Yeah. So hey, I booked this tea time. It was only $75. Yeah, because there's a hurricane.
Yeah. I will say their Instagram, they posted they've been like Cabot's been posting a bunch of stuff, and their pork missile looks dynamite. Like that.
Yeah,
looks like
actually,
good turn dog right there.
Now that I think about it, I don't think I got one both times.
Yeah, remember, because I was very disappointed in the fact that you did not get to rate it at that point. So
you were gonna get chicken tenders anyways, which I don't even think they serve.
Hey, I heard you guys have a great hot dog here. I'll take the chicken tenders.
Yeah.
Teddy, have you made it down to the park at West Palm yet?
No.
I think it'd be worth your time.
I've heard it's good.
I had a lot of fun.
It's just it's a decently long trip for me to make it down there.
What? 4 hours up?
So
plus?
West Palm. Yeah, a little more.
Yeah. You probably have to make a weekend out of it, but it's worth it.
All right, so we're getting to the end of the show, right? And we still have Sanderson Farms coming up this week.
Hold on, time out. Let's just skip the Sanderson Farms.
I don't really care about the Sanderson Farms.
Yeah, we're moving on from that. We're gonna
let me know when they're in Hawaii.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
so
call me in January? Is what?
Can we go to the cooler part that we were bringing on?
Yeah.
Fixing my fantasy football team. So
disclaimer: before we start, Justin's fantasy team is horrible. He auto drafted.
It doesn't
help Puka's on the IR, but it's not great.
mixed
Somebody
it.
else was hurt too, right?
Yeah, so my team, and we did make some changes, right? I got
We
some
have.
help from Teddy, and so this morning off the waivers we grabbed Justin Fields.
Because
Got
both your
George
Good call.
quarterbacks
Pickens.
are on bye. If you recall, both quarterbacks are on
Yeah,
bye.
both quarterbacks. So
Yes.
I've got Jalen Hurts, and I gave up Goff to get Fields, which I was a little hesitant on Goff after the week he had last week, but I do think,
He had a great week.
yeah,
The ceiling though is not that high.
yeah,
So
totally.
I'd rather you keep Jalen Hurts and pick up Justin Fields.
Hurts is not performing because he doesn't have Smith and Brown. Like, let's just be honest. And I don't think the coach is all that great. Sirianni doesn't seem to be.
Correct.
All right,
here's
so
what we're gonna do. Oh,
here's
that's
the
not working.
team. I don't know. What do you think we do from this point? Because I got questionable Ingram. He's questionable right now. I did move Jawan Jennings into wide receiver or the flex spot. But there's some other options, I guess. I mean, you've got Demarcus
Mhm.
Robinson, which is someone you told me to pick up, Teddy.
Yeah, you could drop him now.
Yeah.
I thought I did say to
I would
drop
hang on to him just because Puka and what's his face are still out. Cooper Cup.
Yep.
I like a hold on Demarcus Robinson. The
Oh,
only
that's
issue you
yeah.
the only issue you have is that the Rams just aren't very good.
There's that.
Like Stafford's on the back end of his career from the quarterback perspective. They've got Kyron Williams who does his job and he'll have some big weeks. But overall, like offensively, they're not great
Okay.
unless Puka's on the field and Cooper Cup's on the field.
So if you guys are looking at this team right now, and we kind of discussed this before, it's like I need a running back that's going to get more points, right? Like that's the number one thing we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we need to come up with some sort of trade for Puka, right? We're getting rid of Puka. That's probably the biggest thing to do.
I would say it's way easier to trade him and try to get an RB1 that somebody is pretty good with receiver. Don't really need somebody until it gets closer to the playoffs time for fantasy football.
Yeah.
So they can afford to keep him on the bench for the first few weeks when he comes back.
Let's
So
let's
I would
look
say
at some teams.
Yeah. I
What are
was
some
gonna
other
say
teams?
I'm gonna go up here. Let's matchups. So here's the teams. This is my matchup this week. Third down. I made some changes. I'm still gonna be 13 points back
Mhm.
of him. I mean DJ Metcalf.
Who does he have on
Robinson.
his bench?
Let's see.
Who's he got on bye?
Let's go to third down. Oh, I could have just shown bench player. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
So here's his bench. Javonte Williams, not really. Herbert,
Yeah,
nothing.
I'm
So he
probably looking
doesn't
at the
really
next
have
team.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to we'll go to TMT is who I actually tried to get a trade proposal to go through. He has not accepted it. He declined my first one because I sent it to him trying to get Jones. I was trying to get Aaron Jones from him, and I sent him a trade proposal of Puka and I added Ingram to it. And he hasn't declined it yet, but he hasn't responded.
Who go down? Who's on his bench? So we got Swift, Addison.
You think he'd get rid of Jordan Mason? I mean, that could be a good pickup for the next few weeks, but is it worth getting rid of Puka for that?
No, I would not.
I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers, like, as long as they keep competing and like winning. What are they? 3-1 right now, or 2-2? Are they 2-3? Or are they 1-3? What's their record?
Actually, can't tell you. I'm 2-2.
Like if they end up being like 4-2, 5-2, they win the next three. I think there's a good shot that they're like, you know what? we're not putting Christian McCaffrey anywhere near the field until
Until
playoffs.
yeah.
And by that time, fantasy season's over. So I wouldn't necessarily pull the trigger on trying to offer Puka for Jordan Mason now, but it could be something in a week or two if they're winning.
So B team
especially
would
with Debo and
probably
Kittle
do
back.
something since he's 1-3. I think I could
Mhm.
probably get something out of this, but I mean, I was looking at his running backs. His running backs aren't very solid at all.
One thing you could do, and it may be attractive to him because they suck and they can't move the ball at right now, is try to go for A-Chain on the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Would Mostert be a better pick than A-Chain?
No.
No? Okay. So, yeah, and I was also looking at Mad Flavor announced in the chat that he is open to trade for almost anything. So I thought about taking a look at that, but I mean, Najee Harris isn't going to do much for me, I don't think. I don't know. It's tough trying to find running backs.
You could trade Puka for Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. That was his number one pick. I feel so bad for him. So what if we do this? We go into players. I'm going to go to player list. We're going to set this up. We'll go all offense. I'll show my team in this, and we will do just all players. We will look at just the running backs and see where I sit up on this and who we could potentially take.
So Not a Football Guy has Kyron and Derrick Henry. Who's his third running back? He's got Brian Robinson Jr.
Okay. Yeah. So that would be somebody I would target.
Not a football guy.
Yeah.
I would offer him Puka for. You can shoot your shot at Derrick Henry. Probably not going to go for it after having 3 touchdowns this last week. But I think if you trade Puka for Brian Robinson, I mean they move the ball. Washington has more, like Jaden Daniels has more scoring drives than he does incompletions. I know it doesn't speak to the running back, but hey,
I'm tempted to go with Derrick Henry just so that he says no, and then I will go after that one. What do you think of that play?
Who is your running backs again? You have Josh Jacobs.
Yep, Josh Jacobs. Let me open it up so I can actually see.
But just scroll. Just keep scrolling.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so you only have Ron.
Jesus.
Oh gosh.
Rico
and Rico Dowdle. But you have Tyjae Spears and Tony Pollard, who are, I think,
he's got a bunch of
player.
Yeah, I mean Pollard's better than Spears from a fantasy standpoint.
Is his team better if he offers Puka for Brian Robinson Jr.? I think so.
Yes.
Your team's definitely better.
For Derrick Henry?
I would because that's going to be an instant no.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's worth shooting your shot, but like offer him Henry first. If he declines it, then you offer for Robinson Jr.
All right, let's do it.
Because he's also who are his wide receivers?
Pittman, Moore.
Because
he's looking for one.
Judy.
Yeah, I mean Rashee Rice is hurt.
Yeah,
I think his team gets better too in a weird way because he has more depth. Puka's hurt, yeah, but I think he's going to be coming back right around that 4 week.
All right, let's see what he says.
Yeah, but I think if you send him that, declines it, and then send him for the Brian Robinson Jr., I think he takes that one, no problem.
I have to drop someone because Puka's on my. Who would I drop in this instance?
I would drop your
D-Rob.
Just go pick one up, or you can drop D-Rob.
Well, who's your kicker?
Justin Tucker.
Oh,
No, don't drop him. I was thinking of somebody
Yeah.
else. Don't drop him.
I was thinking
Yeah,
of just
drop.
dropping
You could drop D-Rob, but Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard are pretty much 50-50 split, so you're not going to lose any if you drop one of them if you want more wide receiver depth because you
I
are
would
getting
drop Spears
you're getting rid of
between
a
the
wide
two.
receiver.
Okay, done. All right. I will I sent trade proposal. We'll see how it goes. All right. So every week we'll try and see if we can make my team better. I mean, last
Yeah.
week I won my first game. So finally got a W out of there instead of
Took
going
forever.
0-4. I'm 1-3 now, which is kind of nice. Which beat my old boss, which is cool. I like to actually beat Rick. It's a fun thing to do.
Yep.
But
He
yeah,
seems like a guy who doesn't like losing, so
no, I got some pretty interesting text messages from him, so it was good.
that's funny.
But yeah, we'll see if we can actually improve upon this on a weekly basis. I don't know. Like, let us know if you actually like that. That was probably slower than we should have done it. We probably should have been a little bit quicker on making some of those changes, but it's also me at fantasy football, so we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the road to the playoffs for Justin.
Yeah, the road to the pigskin playoffs for me. So we'll see how
It
it
started
goes.
on Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
He likes giving the competition a leg up. He likes coming from behind.
Coming from behind's the best. So
Okay.
All right. I think that's going to wrap
Anyway.
us up for this episode here. Listeners, we appreciate you. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, the Pitchmark Collective. We'll see y'all next time.